Yeah, just syllable, okay. Sanje Chedan Zoye Sonam La Chanju Bardo Dani Gyabsunje Dage Jinso Yebe Sonam Ye Ndola Benje Sanje Ndo Barasho Sanje Chedan Zoye Sonam La Chanju Bardo Dani Gyabsunje Dage Jinso Yebe Sonam Dola benje sangye do barasho sangye chedan zoje zonam la sanjo vardo dani gyapson lage jinso jebe zonam je dola benje sangye do barasho sangye chedan zoje zonam la sanjo vardo dani gyapson je lage jinso jebe zonam je Dola benje sanje do barasho Sajibyo Joje mendo tang Rera ling she nyen de gyang bandi Sanje jendo mi oi dembo Recite Heart Sutra in English. Thus have I once heard the Blessed One was saying in Rajgir at Walter Peak, along with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. And at that time, the Blessed One fully ended the meditative concentration on the varieties of phenomena called the appearances of Brahma. At that time as well, Holy Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, beheld the practice of profound perfection of wisdom, and he even saw the five aggregates as empty of inherent nature. Thereupon, through the Buddha's inspiration, Venerable Shariputra spoke to Holy Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, and said, "Any noble son who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should train in what way?" When this is Holy Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, spoke to Venerable Shariputra and said, "Shariputra, any noble sons or daughters who wish to practice the perfection of wisdom should see this way. They should see insightfully, correctly, and repeatedly, and that even the five aggregates are empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. Likewise, sensation, discrimination, conditioning, and awareness are empty. In this way, Shariputra, all things are emptiness. They are without defining characteristics. They are not born, they do not cease, they are not refilled, they are not identified. They have no increase, they have no decrease. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, no discrimination, no conditioning, and no awareness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. There is no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no texture, no phenomenon. There is no eye element, and so on up to no mind element, and also up to no element of mental awareness. There is no ignorance, no elimination of ignorance, and so on up to no aging and death, and no elimination of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, origin, or path. There is no wisdom, no attainment, and even no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since the Bodhisattvas have no obtainments, they are relying on the perfection of wisdom. Having no defilements in their minds, they have no fear, and passing completely beyond error, they reach nirvana. Likewise, all the Buddhas abiding in the three times, clearly and completely awaken to unexcelled, authentic and complete awakening in dependence upon the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, one should know that the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the precious mantra, the unexcelled mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that quells all suffering, is true because it is not deceptive. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom proclaim Tayata Kade Kade Para Kade Parasam Kade Bodhi Soha, gone, gone, gone beyond, gone utterly beyond, inhale. Thereupon the Blessed One arose from that meditative concentration, and he commended only the Bodhisattva, the great being. Excellent, he said, excellent, excellent, noble child, it is just so. Noble child, it is just so. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom in the manner that Bhagavatas rejoice. This is what the Blessed One said. Thereupon the Venerable Shariputra, the Holy Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, and the entire assembly, along with the world of gods, humans, Asura, and Gandharvas, all rejoice and highly praise what the Blessed One had said.
Benjamin Chang this one is Rani Chinzi Gupa Kunjelo, Manam Jinzi, Indian Kunji, Ejitajan, Yamling Bull Tingilo, the Sungares. What are Aran Chevron in the Chinzin Digi? Any one Sendi Mate, Sinchima Pinji, watching it. What are Aran Chinzin La? Any Kyondu Taware? Jen Chinzin Sindi. Any Indian Kunji, Sindimada, Yawachima Pinjela, only 10 to the ought to be a Jisadaji, Jen Chapel, Jinsin the days, Unguares. Tindi Indiganla, Ran Jinsin Sidi, around 10 matches the Couch Kajati Shigi or Mares. Karashigi Orzana, Ran Jinsin Sidi, Jen Yelawat, Jen Ketuse, around Koni to that. Sendi baji te nani dande khonampe negapchi nigya tuntu wata techi giyo marje tel sungwares te mado sem ke yondi ganla randan chanchuta jenden chanchuta de dumba ni di koni ichiku ba te randan chanchuta rangla mi gi orwa wata ti jendin ke du sebe koni ani rang baji gi tonta chede chigiyo marje kanen gwares ti tanda dina
Pension Losan Chogi Gyaltsen, one of the pension Lama has said that self-cherishing is the the beginning or the entrance to the all degenerations, while other cherishing mind is the basis or foundation of the all good qualities. So what he is saying here is that the self-cherishing mind or ego mind that we have is the actually the foundation or the origin or sources of all the degenerations or the suffering or problems, not only of this lifetime but also of future lifetime. And other cherishing mind, or altruistic mind here is the foundation or basis of all the good qualities. So he's not saying here that don't do something for yourself, or but the more important emphasis is, of course, you should do something for yourself, but not something that is completely only for yourself, only limited to this lifetime only, and so kind of very narrow ego-minded. So that should be, become the sources of all problem and sufferings. So we need to do something for oneself, of course, for the same reason. When generating altruistic mind, there's two ways of aspiration. One is aiming at oneself, and then the second one is aiming at others. So when we say try reduce or elimination of ego mind, we are talking about ego mind that is totally focused on just oneself only, and completely kind of neglecting benefiting others.
이 뭐에 니지 차려래 삼단계나 랑 진케도스네 랑 코네튼도 증인데 니야 통도 아니 두자이나 충충 어다 백 때가 기기다 녀몽 깨게 지자되지 대용 거래 대자의 투사데 단지 말이 봐세 텐델 아니 텐중 그때 관한이 마통해 디 아니 배 답 수툭 랑원이 박인을 좀 되는 소리지 자와 간지나 수툭 코랑을 좀 되는 소리지 리뱅갈다 머리 밑에 제왕도 손에 보다 랑진진 로드기 거래 이때 미스가 즉 미양 통동당 센드풍 치마풍 강가풍 어쩌는지 대차려 인디가라 텔레견도 타데 페미스를 내가 쳐버리지.
So because that self-cherishing mind or ego mind is understanding that is related to the Heart Sutra teaching that we are going through, and so short-sighted, very ego-minded, self-cherishing mind is the source of many problems that we faces in our day-to-day life. Because of this self-cherishing and ego mind, it creates a sort of barrier to understand the dependent origination or interdependency, and therefore this self-grasping ignorant mind, and this self-grasping ignorant mind is the exact opposite to the wisdom that we are trying to attain, wisdom realizing emptiness.
What dindi indiganla moni jipage korwale towa le de nyumo zebarchebala toni towa mari bak jin sunching ware mari be jin sunchia de rame to be shrab mundu to war mundu ndo ware rame to be shrab madona mari be jin sunching mare wata telayang mari be jin chinru dalaya ani tapki kebar gi wangi ani nyomozene shiri mazeya wata na tap kebar jengi zimbe wangi nyomoda shijiti ba pacha da jeba zeya wata tendi yore tendi digala chik mone rang khoni tondu sendi chamayin ba parbaji samnotane en tongi tope tongi gi lola eni ngondu kyake tablanan bezochi tongi la eni nyamenchi dupsche deina rangkhone to tarbate thogu arte nyomozi gor mada ya shiji basa gyo mare dibani nani tangoni jende baji samnotande ani chanju gi sem tindi gi zimbe gone ani jomatsinche gi samnota tindi gi zimbe gone ani jen tongi to belola nyamlenche ani dus chevena shiji ba paja ta jeba zegore sangi ko bang tong gore di chanju gi sem gi zimbe gone ani tongi to be loteya oda tongi ni ji ngbo chen se sudo oda ti chal gore moni chik lo khebarwa chi chal gore oda ti mondu kyya gi tabshi che gore moni namba 7 ji jigi ina oda digiti kenguade pe misbe chimboris ani shijingi do ta sangina jarubush sunguri ngazudi pe mirgen zezebal zore ke jishene yoya yomare oda jarubush da tende mare ani ti indigala jarubush de sungugala ngone negi kyon sumda talwe goni nyenguade ke chimboris.
So in order to free ourselves from cyclic existence, we need to eliminate the karmic action and the ignorance. And for that, as we said before, we need to generate the wisdom realizing emptiness, and only generating that wisdom realizing emptiness or understanding emptiness will eliminate that ignorance. And so for the method, we mentioned many times before, there are many different ways of many different types, method which unique method which can eliminate not only ignorance but also mental imprints, including wisdom obscurations from the two obscurations. And however, when you out of sort of kind of self-cherishing mind, ego mind, you do attain liberation, or you do attain understanding of the emptiness, but that won't lead to the elimination of all ignorance or delusions, because although it will help you to eliminate the ignorance and delusion, but it won't make you to eliminate the wisdom obscuration from the two obscuration, the higher or more subtle obscuration. So what is important practice for us would be intention of the altruistic mind with the wisdom realizing emptiness, and that will eliminate completely all the levels of obscurations, including wisdom obscurations. And so therefore expressions saying that emptiness and the compassionate mind, the essence of practice. So so that is very kind of special, unique practice. The practice which combines a great compassionate mind with the understanding of emptiness. And so through that practice, one can become a standard Buddhist practitioner, and therefore it is kind of important to know this concept. So later when you listen to His Holiness teaching, His Holiness will be dealing kind of with the important concept of from the Heart Sutra, and what we covered is kind of rough the gross understanding of the text, not detailed. So later when you listen to His Holiness, try your best to listen kind of with full concentration, without three policies of the the followers or disciples.
What negi consum singde pe misive ke chimbo chagore ne zambo khandijina ne te eni chi muni kyme zambo jena ko khalushan bushana kunala chu khandijina luna lugu marwa ote na jinche ne ngaranju nyendu gala sheba thanchen mangin bache eni nalola chasogi nyomongi Shachi Korden, Kabu Banajin, Amjon and Gunumandona, Gizin K. Omar, Chedal Dena, Shiki having it in the thought of Guamare. What a thing you got on the Kabu Vicandi, they do just cigarette. Then in no Japdolutor. Gunde, Nindu Yatajian, any Jugo Tembe Mazimbache, any Jejubaina, what a Ju Zamboji, Luya Nayana, Javla Iguyana, didn't transit any pay Chu Zambo, any Mone, Lucilla Sabalubaina, Pendayamara, Sazado, Zadi. What it is on it? Yamurmachakari, Sumade, one in Tata Tembezin, young to Samata. Sachambuda, Jorm Jan Sung to the Mune Sonam Chembura, Mune Fatu maybe Sonam, Lap Chembura. Yawanga Sonam Sanamato, Tande, Nipe Kuzin Dilla, Niji, Kibu Kabara Jinjela, Missivo Combore. Yinayang, Oinjang, Queen Zeba, Sung Zeba, Tugin Zeba, Suminani, Sung Zeba, Sachore. He Sung Tiligi, Mazugule, Namgargi, Gawatini, any correlator like a Tapshin and Door. Tinjugala, Jorm Cares Suade. Only thing, Yamni, you told a carriage in Yamni Jago, the cage in the chat. 디 네 두스 제바이나 너디 즉 냠nen체 두스 제마 제르마 조이나 네 잡들로 껴다 따바래 야보래 dem다 디마임바 네 디마젠 신디 오니 네데 리무치 네 인로 데는 미장와지나 디는 장질라 소바네 베 리실을 소바 루바이나야 코 디는 미장데 인사 그래서 그거 털란도 와 어때는 차서 녀몽다 만데지 녀몽 껴나 말도 꾸는 장보 장주기 셈 보다 주문 신지기 짐베고네 년과다 개침버리 보다 띠인도가라 겨울무지 아게 디제도 시바탄 전년 아니 쟁에나 균요말 원이 균단 단대게는 원이 펠리시보 된 사와니네 보다 신인 거는 균된 사와니니 요 말에 당연시나 마시 소소가래 버리 너기 견숨다 타는 님바이나 니 셰버래 년나 셰거래 아니 겨우는 레긴 되고 얘네 아주 루스 겨울은 뭐지 잘 무슨 일을 하고 버라버래 싸치 버래 뭐다 디제네는 뭐 겨울은 뭐지 저만 손도 가나 오늘 단에디 즉 셈나행이 다다지 아니 최랄은 내봤자 마인바 쉐비 추수 자마인바 쉐바 민든 수바지잖아 보다 단지 머리 발견 다 버려 인 텐중부터 권한이 또 탑재거래 젠든 라운딩 이알 같은 젠든 캡진 젠든 버지기 예 자와투야라 신디점마다 치마 편절라 된데 용에 말람 잡고 제 책임 시점에는 오늘 팽이를 선거도
as you know, the three, fallacies of the, followers or audience, using the three example, pot or vase, kept upside down, or, second with the hole at the bottom, and third with tainted, vase. So if you have these three, problems, then it's considered as the fallacies. So the first one, keeping upside down vase, it's like although you are at the teaching place, but your consciousness and there's no concentration from your side. So it doesn't matter whether you're sitting there or not if there's no concentration from your side. So it's like keeping vase upside down. There's no way that you can put something in that container. Second is like hole at the bottom. It's like you go to the teaching, sit among the audience, but you don't use your memory or remembrance. You listen, but you forget everything whatever you listen. So it's like you put a very sacred delicious or like a nectar honey in a pot which has a hole at the bottom, so it doesn't really serve the purpose. And so the a third is like a tainted vase or pot. So if you go to the teaching and listen with all kinds of negative thoughts, attachment, hatred, anger, desire, then whatever you're listening gets kind of tainted too, so it doesn't help. So therefore, when you listen to His Holiness teaching, listen with using all your consciousness open or concentrated, and whatever you listen, try to keep in your mind, and because having this kind of opportunity is indeed the result of our past karmic connection, and especially able to listen from a great teacher like His Holiness, and it is rare, and it's kind of result of our positive karma that we created in the past. And so whatever we listen must kind of put into practice. And definitely there is no kind of fallacies from the teacher's side, but whether the teachings that you listen becomes helpful to you or not, it's totally depends on your way of listening. So make your attending teaching meaningful, kind of attendance, meaningful listening. So when you listen, try to generate thoughts like understanding of self-grasping, dependent origination, and listen with the intention of benefiting others. And at least, if not kind of put into actual practice, at least you can generate these thoughts and make prayers.
생인 라메 전이 된 자원이 교영 말다 제리지 구정 롬바래 최기 전에 점든 데 세징이 도 자고 부비를 수는 자고 자침부터 때리 다 맞으나 랑이 니다 맞아 그래 봐 계속 갔다면 진에 가서니 루스
So it's kind of repetitive, but again there's no kind of negative sides from a teacher's side. He is live, Avalokiteshvara, and the teachings that he is going to give, as you know, is the Heart Sutra, very sacred text. So if there's something kind of still something missing or something not working, then definitely probably must be from a listener's side.
So the
whole purpose of teaching is, to change or transform the mind. So after coming back from teaching, if there is some or little transformation of the mind, then there is a kind of purpose, served or success.
주규당이라와 아마 진진이 제번에 미친이 진진 캡스네 랑바시 진인 치 셈데 그루아탄지 아니 젠디 랑바시 돈다들라 젠 제번에 젠디 캡스데 세야데 랑 캡스 랑 레전 소지 randan to give me, gender to give me, Nikayo, Chibaina, that means in Suva, the Avachu.
So, as you know, the Dharma practice is which actually.
The mother similar to Chuluna gender, Taru, Randan the Taru, Tonam, the Mataris.
It refers to changing or transformation, and here the transformation refers to changing, the state of mind that we have, this ego mind, changing that into more kind of, other benefiting, other, cherishing mind, and so we can change to something that is, beneficial not only for yourself but for others too. Otherwise, if practice or listening to teachings becomes like adding more water to semen, kind of making semen more harder, then that doesn't serve the purpose, and it's, there's no benefit in that.
Oda Tigalata, Kazan, Shijin Dore, Denane, Wang Turgi, Chidijan, the Jawan Butubi, Lamgirim Bendonade, Sone, Ta, Wane, any pay, Matila than any. Lamangam Solana, the country is it, that is the Kazan, you should the name by you Katatuji, you was.
So, from the text, we finished the practice of the five parts, sort of related to the practitioners with low intelligence, and we also discussed some about the practice of five parts pertaining to the practitioners with high intelligence.
어떻게 인디가라 다이아타 가테 파랑가테 파라삼가테 부디소아 시디가라 딜타데스 다이아타 시디 다이아타 시디 다 다이아타 니가돔나 가리온자 야 딜터 콘디니가 로지바레 시데타 와데 랭구에서 콘디니 일치니 고네 콘데르지바 이모이 뭐에 니스로와 나랑도 나 시집이 쳔디데 나가서 마다 맞아가는 나요 최대다 최대 군소배 로바 타이바요 나랑도 때라 린징기 떼바요레 니낭게 떼바요레 율 군소배 떼바요레 떼바 타이바지도 다시 제용데 다 뭐니 뭐에 니스 내사데 가르르잖아 찔찌 때내게 된중 그때 에니페 크로아세나 에니 렘버마투바 이 추투 랑원에 마투게 냥데 가나도 투자 타투 냥데 돼야 에니 다시제 인디가라 렘버마투게 랑원에 마투게 어 콘데 여메 세야데 일춘이 고네 콘데 여메 세니 와트니 랭구레스 또 겨울음치가를 송도지 마텔라페 그래서 이자제스 나나 고저치나 텐지 고부도 섬도스.
So the mantra Tayada Kadekade Parakade Parasamgade Bodhi Soha. So the mantra begins with the Om led Geshe Dun Swimbe Om Tayada Kadam.
Om da Tayata Nigadamna Diltate sing the Kubu Sewa.
Om led Matungana Yore.
Yeah, Yore. Tayatom Gatengade, already, Tayatom Gatengade. De la Chiji do Ugure the Marisingi. Me Pata Matapares.
So, there is when we recite the mantra or the mantra itself, and there are some interpretation which says that Om is needed, in the and some says.
Om da soa ni nga kin ba tujing jing la gres. Go go Om de dang jugi soha ni nga kin ba tujing de dang gres. De mena mata gres.
Some interpretation says that Om, is needed at the beginning of the mantra because Om and the Swaha, which is at the end of the mantra, strengthens the power or intensity of the the influence of the mantra. So therefore, it is needed. So at the beginning, with the Tayata or Om Tayata, as we mentioned before, it refers to the reality of the phenomena, or translated as it is thus. If you have the this translation on page 130, so it is thus here refers to the samsara and the cyclic existence and the liberation, both having basically the same taste or same meaning. And when we look at our own conceptions or how things appears to us, to our ordinary mind, they are it is full of exaggerations, truth grasping, duality, conventionality, but when you look at the reality of the phenomena itself, then what is the truth is, as we know, we mentioned before, dependent origination. Both samsara as well as the liberation doesn't have a true existence, intrinsic existence. So both basically has the same kind of meaning or same understanding or same taste.
또 겨울음식 상이 이 정도 겨울음식 맞아 산스크릿 게티 시작이 로다데 시기가 말때 인디가라 백하고래 산스크릿 게들라 치치디지데 내용도가라 뱃과 만나 용구르시고 뱃미시가 돈다 치지라 돈다 만다만 보여서 소가 인디 맞아 이마지리 백하고 차리어래 이 겨울음식 가르 송도이 주메 차데 텔레 야지 디니 가땡 파랑 상가도 부디 소아데 다 손시 승과를 담보도 초람 단다 수수께 내가 내기와 말에 람나 징고래 초람 징고래 아니 초람 디지에 말에 졸람런 포거래 송 졸람을 로거래 졸람은 토람 도시 토람은 고마 올라는 밀어라네 아니 장주기 지수시 가테 소아 스디가라 장주기 지수시 거래 장주기 지수야 돼 가르게 알아서 동이 또베 로 장주기 생기 짐바지 중앙이나 장주기 지수 바래 이 마주나 지수가 말해 인디가라 탑시 줌근데 냠니지야 돼 개침버리서 수고하래지 돈다두나 때텐데지래지
So, and the detailed interpretation of this mantra for us would be difficult, as you said, because without understanding the Sanskrit, language or terminology, we won't be able to understand completely. So, the more, of course, the reliable would be, later when you listen to His Holiness interpretation of what this mantra means and the meaning behind this. Because in Sanskrit, just for one simple syllable, it can interpret in many different ways. So the second, part of the mantra, Gade Kade Parasam Gade Bodhi Soha in English, gone beyond, gone utterly beyond enlightenment here, or the more, I would say more closer translation, the go beyond, go totally beyond, be rooted in the ground of enlightenment. So the first, go and first, you can match this first five section, go beyond, go totally beyond, to the five path, so the beginning with the path of accumulation, then a second go you can match with the path of preparation, then third path of seeing, and path of no more learning, path of meditation and no more learning. So it kind of shows the five paths, and then at the end it says be rooted in the ground of enlightenment. So don't stay as like ordinary being, but rather kind of
chungale tamne digyo mare lamna zingores etiku kona yabu.
So it would be good sort of a way to listen as that don't let your mind bind it by ignorance or delusions. Instead try starting the beginning of the path, or enter the path path of accumulation, then move forward to preparation, seeing, meditation, and no more learning, and be rooted in the ground of enlightenment. Here, this refers to kind of establish the foundation of the enlightenment, which refers to have the understanding, generate the understanding of the emptiness with the practice of great compassion. So once you have that, then you have the foundation or the ground of enlightenment.
Mari pata khasang mangpo jisare mari pa sidigala gacha tentu te phagi ne yel legen zon jinde khe gore toba yi lo toba la charjul jidwa ti makhe na ti phagi samloji makhon na mea samji wangbin cha de ro ndin mo na cha mea samji ti sam signi do one ngara zo phagi ne nang sang na si phagi ni yel legen chudu gihen suna ma te de ji 아주 철수지도 그 또봐 이실을 절수기도 때 가고도 가야도 물마대 이 왕기 딱 아주 때 시기 말에 삼삼지 겨치마도 때 그런다 사샤 나샤 팅버 디린 배 칸디지 비나 삼삼지 용음도 미워야 돼 파기는 차고르지 파기는 염담세 낭술 띠기다 아주 상일 레기데 삼삼지 용고한 말봐 근데 많이 맞이하나 다띠 왕기 아니 단진 렌진 왔다 되게 미자와 자원 좀 봐. 아니 미타발 따버는 좀 봐. 아니 그 자세 따다 강가 뛰는 용구도 이 지사들이 파기는 정도 삼삼을 로디기 용구와 대쪽 강가 파기는 요 전지 많아 다 오늘 맞아 낭술 때문에 다시 제 인디가 유견 차다 차진 차시 민 대네 랑문민영 민왜 파다라 세다다 투상 얼마데 하나는 땐 자원은 마주나양 민나다 파 자sem지 자제강 같이 두지 우마 탕기we 이 디기다 다다의 최단이가 가니 아니 된중부터 파는 때는 바고도 우멜람데 되는 바고 알아 그래서 그게 정말 가정에서 학바리지 같이 가면지데 내야 돼 되게 이제 또 삼당 토비나 아니 펜다용 벌써
So, we mentioned this also many times before. The main, the root cause of, self-cherishing mind or ego mind is not able to understand the reality of the phenomena. And what we need to negate is, as we said before, many times also, that phenomena exist independently out there without relying upon other things or lack of interdependence, that they exist self-sufficiently by itself, out there. So without, understanding the true nature of the phenomena, we hold on to this kind of, wrong ways of how things exist. And so with that kind of misconception, there is a strong grasping to permanence, strong grasping to, although it is not pure, but kind of, considering impure as a pure, consideration of impermanence as a permanent, consideration of suffering as a happiness, all these kind of, things which without, putting under the subject of analysis, kind of, we have all this wrong or misconceived. And this, unrealistic or unreality, wrong, conception that appears to our consciousness, we must kind of cease these all ways of, perception. And so, if we put under analysis, we know that, these all phenomena doesn't exist by itself. Rather, the things or object has a cause, factors, conditions, and all exist simply at the level of designation or imputation. They don't exist independently or doesn't have intrinsic existence, and so it comes down to what is called middle way philosophy, middle way consequence schools, ultimate a philosophy of so middle way consequence schools, and kind of not falling into two extremes of eternalism and nihilism. So we need to abstain falling into both of these two extremes. So what we covered is kind of really rough or gross understanding of the concept.
What those sine ngal tini ta wangpon nolpo lamgen rotante tusini sungores an tini da 점된디 퉁기르주가 하세요 삽지지와 어디 퉁기르주와데 점된디 띵인 텔레잖아요 다 저기 공공라니 점된디 투띵인지라 주 아니 제리 아니 셰리불라니 베 징기라네 투띵인지 셰리부 인퇴 차대로 인퇴라 자모 너도와 차요 바로와 띵인디가라 즉 파기 너도와 나에 건달라 투띵인지는 넘버 주니 셰리불레 징기라 바로와 다티 띵인지 텔레잖아요 점된디 숨발랑 공발 도도 세 버도다 퉁기르주바데레 로바제
So the second last paragraph, on page 2 of the root text, thereupon the Blessed One arose from that meditative concentration, and he commended Holy Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, excellent. He said, excellent, excellent, noble child, it is just so. Noble child, it is just so. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom in the manner that you have revealed. The Tathagata rejoiced. This is what the Blessed One said. So, thereupon the Blessed One arose from the meditative concentration. So, up to here, as we said before, Buddha says in the meditative concentration or deep, profound meditation, and this is because we mentioned before, Shariputra being, hearers, he is not the right appropriate disciple, so he needs to be blessed in order to be involved in the discussion of the emptiness. So this kind of represents Tungyur. So this represents or shows kind of Buddha's own kind of aspiring Shariputra, or kind of basically kind of helping or supporting him.
Jingila pendo sigyora dila. Jingila pendo. Oda du sinde kanje du sungi sangi tanje sangya de tongni madava sangi jiyo ma. Du sungi deve sangi mambo sangi tadave sangi tanje joba chibe lamse ni zamo tombani gaja dendu kane ye ne pe jil sunjibe gone sange buware indigala yusungi sange thamje dobachi belam ichare indigala ngaranzo nyamne chede te chadiore oda tindi indigala che ngone shirjing indola shirchin siyade to de parchin 주요를 대나니 셔르게 퍼진도 쪼르이스 셔르게 퍼진 쪼인다네 간디시금 거르잖아 쉐링인 제베고네 잔지 머리벌 껴타야 지고도 머리벌랑 갈다 지고도 단나 머리버세데 몬산데 자고 말다 리빙 갈다 인데게 덴두 덴버데 덴진데라 껴도 타고 와에스 이라 삼로 마타나 니시바 참지 그 아주 장내 니시바데 시바 조투야요 다들 시바 저거 대자마인 봐 삼로만 보다네 유전 잘네 아니 거기 또바 이실에 차상에 삼로단지 아니 린징 캐고 봐 니시바 삼레 니타도도 시작이 가가도 삼로만 보다고 봐 어다 이 인데 이 다베 링인 집에 시랍데 다 동니도베 시랍데 다 발친세데다 진젤람 쪼데 되지 않고 와래 근디 이 람텐 레제 디 원도 끼로이나 리부시진데 통과하러 사기 뽑아내야 어떻게 개체 못 잡고 와래 또다 दूसरे यानी Shere Nimbo Kanji, those chene, the Kazan, Tindijere, Wima deta, Mari Balakanduta, Hagin Tumdu Miduta, any tea in it, Tendel singing the la, Wash Lectuna, and your race, any chick. Tendel de, Tenjin de one Juans, the Chilichi Senni Juan, Gulathan and Dubulathan, Gujuade, Pan to Korang on the Motubadi, Hawachi. So do Korang on the many in the Gala, or the Guyan, Chada Chashi, Tenny Juade. The Niji Rape Quaji Chavina, the Nisamadangina, Kushisa Inza, Wapi Chavini, Tendel Sierra, Tom Betunda, rising to the Tomba, Korang to the Toma. What that the you Korang to the Toma de Kobu is. Toma Sidigala, then in Juma the Kobu is. Toma Tomba, then they'll get on the Soma, then they'll Tombit on the Rona, touch. Chick money, Hagi, Umil Tawa Toyala, Kavarchamu or Suba, you catch it.
So we mentioned before this, sutra is also called considered, the blessed sutra, because of what we mentioned before, Shariputra being blessed or inspired by Buddha, and the understanding of the emptiness here, we mentioned this before too, is also called the only path that leads to enlightenment, and this is the path that was adopted by past Buddhas, will be adopting by present Buddha, and will be adopting by future Buddha. So the three Buddhas of three times will rely upon this path, to achieve complete enlightenment, and this is also the path that we need to be also practicing. And so from the six, perfection. The main one is the sixth one, that is the wisdom, perfection of wisdom. And because perfection of the wisdom is needed in order to discriminate or differentiate what is the positive qualities and what is the negative, kind of able to discriminate and differentiate these two. So the perfection of wisdom. Not we are not talking about simply kind of able to understand not knowing. Understanding and not knowing is not that difficult. That we can learn, study, and make what we doesn't know that know. But here it refers to the wisdom of perfection. Refers more to the understanding of the truth grasping, which is actually the opposite of the wisdom itself. And so understanding of the grasping of truth and how things lack intrinsic nature, inherent nature, for that it takes a lot of reasoning, evidence, analysis, and it is much subtler than simply understanding, kind of simply freeing from ignorance. And so therefore, among the six perfection practices, the number 6, which is a wisdom, is considered as the main practice of the path. And relying upon perfection of wisdom, one can attain the result, which is also called the perfection of wisdom, resultant perfection of wisdom. And so the bottom line here is able to understand where is the the ignorance or not knowing, and that we mentioned before, not understanding the reality of how phenomena exist out there. And for that, what is important is, as we mentioned before, understanding of the dependent origination, that the result are dependent on the cause in order to be a result. So kind of when you have a rough understanding of dependent origination, how things exist out there in reality, and especially the understanding we mentioned before, able to interchange the meaning between dependent origination and emptiness. So when you have understanding of emptiness, immediately understand at the same time understanding that when you heard emptiness, it is not saying nothing out there, but rather dependent origination. Or when you heard the dependent origination, you have at the same moment understanding of emptiness. So kind of able to interpret understanding of emptiness for dependent origination and dependent origination for emptiness. So if you have that, then this will be very beneficial and help you to understand kind of more later into the grasping of the middle way philosophy.
That really in Ugala, oh, sem getangi, sem number the bedinjindi, K wade, permits you catching of this. Umba denzin K zambi, pentok maris. Maranzo Mindu Dunga Kiade, number the bedinjin, sem thang upon the number the bedinjin, tea won't be Kigorwa. Is K by enough? No more like. He kebala nyumu tin stop nyumu sin tang to lenja member ja ha go do ngarang so phubo de tang to lenja member phubo de krui ta krwala ja go do de krwa se digala ngame lengi phambe phande de ja go do indigala sem de dangi sem deme to na chhe thamje ki dang deme to gre se sung do ngin ja je ba Jinpa the Tajana. Then I'm only using Chimua, some gay Sudigala, some Dember Mebade, Tony, some getting the Denzin the K by ina. No, then Savang Mika is the mayor Chadore. Teacher, Sanki. Siade, Chicknomo, send the Nomoli Chimala Trovo. Denzin Chimala Trovo. Dinzi pacha the chabal trovo. Umba denzin K Zamjigi was a sem Numo Michael Pendo Cabora. Umba Midabato Zamji, Mazu take up. Ram Midabato Uba. Kechiki Minipa. Around the Marmebato Uba. A new one. Around when the Matukin stole Uba. Indigo. One Zula, Semitang in Niluto, Sem Demberma Batona, Chetanjiki, and the only top and Roich city. You're a thing, Mune, what has Samatana, tell some away, younger is a race. Indigala, Mone, charging the watching a teacher and the Tambo, send the motorchip, sending the country. Eat any pay. Sem Savate Mujit, each Jenny, use Jenny, ya. Lan charging the watching in tea, none into two sticky was around. Indigo, Tambo send the condition. Send Siri, non chadi, condition to me do, Yanni of the Lawata Ketchumbrace. Not to change the park color, the Achibumari. Runs same. Simki Shudata, any Namju Kanditante, send the Numon the Derumaju, send the Ranchins in the Derumaju, send the Kacha Tutuchi, Ran send the Dutapche, what a permissive god, Ketchumore. Yeah, Dokana Sonda, Jumden Rangi, Ripachiam Mijaji, often from Sobaji, Rangi sending also didn't sign it by instance. Sign it embassing the Chilolo. Zudunjia the Geshe Sumida. Chilon Zudunjia the Sanki Tembaina. Tape Trigger wood to the Shivuche to Zara in Bilin Mangudwa. Compachambuja Nagyatuza, Zunjambi, Tumbi Kunin Jeda, but Tosamambujan get to your patient. There's some signal on that. Some Yomoma Madeva, some do one. Each of one.
So especially dealing with the truth grasping, and able to kind of seize that truth grasping. We are not simply talking about cessation of the truth grasping of object out there, like for example a part of waste. We are not simply saying that able to seize, able to understand that waste doesn't exist inherently or intrinsically, or it is impermanent. That is not enough. What the more important is, we need to realize, understand that the mind or the consciousness itself is lack of inherent existence, intrinsic existence, because from the consciousness or the mind comes the or suffering or ignorance of or not knowing. So when we look that way, we will also come to realize that this aggregate, the body, is cyclic existence. So the great scholar Kunchen Jamyang Sherpa, in his Perfection of Wisdom, first chapter, he says that once you realize the selflessness of the mind or consciousness, you will be able to realize the selflessness of other phenomena too. So it looks like there are many different ways of interpretation of how we know, or how the process or means to understand the selflessness of mind or consciousness itself. And so freeing ourselves from truth grasping, we need to understand lack of intrinsic nature of our own mind. When we look at the tantric practices, great practice or great completion practice, these practices start with the introduction of what is the mind or consciousness, beginning with the clay-like nature of the mind and how mind experiences things. So when we talk about practice, we shouldn't be thinking only kind of others, looking out. When we talk about practice, we need to be looking inside within our mind, and then kind of examine what is your state of mind, and how can we train our mind and transform our mind, and train all these negative thoughts and emotions. And so therefore part of the recitation that we do from the Buddha Sutra is do not create any negative activities or non-malicious activities, create or accomplish perfect positive activities, and train your mind. And this is the practice of Buddha. So the practice of Buddhism is more of kind of internal practice, focusing your mind. How can you train your mind, rather than kind of focusing outside and external materialistic development. If that is the case, then of course rich people, millionaires, maybe like Tiger Woods, they can, spending lots of millions, can build houses and constructions and create, but that is not the essence of the true practice of Buddhism.
dungal chijung roya te bar chamu do te nyam nyung la ha ku da ni ji gi chi chu bu jilana a ta te ngone kharam phagi nyumo jawan do son dere ta te ingir ta mi jawan nyumo jawan so na te ni ma to la amar sam sam chana samna nugu mi do samna ta sam dungal kig mi do ani chi phagi ni chi lev da ani samna pe Sutra da ji lepche ni pe mizabachi yondi gala any charam marke any lemsam pa lendi kya any pe chi chupo lavya any laba kya any duri nante tiling to stin gala khagi zabati zabi nyamne teso one sem la dungal be kala sta pensaro pengi do junju gi khagi so 가도 주스 연한 텔라미가 지시자 가도 주스 맨날 텔라미가 지시 펜스도 갈라 오네 미지기지 견지게 되갈라 저담도 민도 지삼다 저답 요아제나 텔라 파기 답 개보이더니 저답 랭자에 나다 야한테 뭐 임바 페이션다 제나제 저답 맨데긴지나 뎀바이 페페 뎀바테 오네 데데디 뭐에 주레샤스디 갈라 샘은 누구입니다. 야보도 와. 스펜도도 와. 냠면서 누수 제기를. 젠다 냠면서 줄도야 말. 아니 동날 때 되가라. 배 소시티 가고 숨버지 돼. 샘나나 미저베키 동날 쳐주는 샘이 류기 뉴바자야라. 팽기르마도 뉴바 패야는 팽기 말에. 아니 수치나 팽기 말에. 얘네 가사. 얘네 맨날 샘보야 아버지. दूस चीज लेना तका जाते काजी दुंगाल दे सेल पेंडो काजी छे से दे सेंगी मेन नमासो सेंगी दुंगाल से याला छे ला यो मा lui की दुंगाल से याला मुने मेंबर टेंग हुआ सेंगी दुंगाल से याला चमदे ने कार सुशा गु तेना इंचने 냠ने 제다 깨침버리 या नेदंगी 돌았더니 전된데 손을 여자든 애등긴도 말해. 애등긴도 이나네 이니베 셈라 간디지 셈은다는 뇽모 기긴도 셈에당 뇽모데 간데 셀기도. 어다 디지 데데 답시지. 이네 소수 레바니 미 레바레 미 레벨레 레바 자체지 된 자원이네 매소래. 아이 이니베 주다 주메기 라테존 데베 감 나이키 둘dengi 니 루이덴데 톱지 제 몰람 게레 맞아 톱이래 딱 맞아 제나 나랑 줄라파레 맞지나 나랑 줄라파레 단디 잘라고 배 개치무 차디어레스 우리가 남자나
and so looking at our own mind it depends a lot on how we kind of look at our own mind and then respond accordingly, and especially dealing with the negative emotions and thought processes. When we are under the influence of negative mentality and how we react to that kind of thought process. If you have an understanding that the negative thoughts are the result of the negative mind, and therefore the expressions of all these negative activities, and for that what is needed is understanding of the patience. When you have this kind of thought process with the understanding of how negative emotions arises and how it should be responded accordingly, it will be immense benefits to your mind. It won't let you to generate more negative thoughts. The thought process, like in the text Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, if there is a remedy, then why not use that solution? If there is no remedy, what is the purpose of suffering? So if there is a problem, then try to find the method or ways to seek it. Why just make yourself suffer more? If there is no means to solve that problem, then what is the necessity of making yourself suffer? Suffer. Accept the reality and don't make yourself hurt. And this is what its practice is. So otherwise, without understanding the nature of the suffering and how they generate it within ourselves, we might make our suffering much worse by when you have a suffering or problems, mental difficulties. Instead of kind of having a right understanding, you make it worse by keeping it yourself, kind of, so just be, more open, to be more kind of realistic in dealing with the, suffering, because the Buddhist teaching, when practiced correctly, should serve as a medicine for mental, problems and difficulties. And of course, for the physical, illness, disease, you need to consult, physicians or doctor. And within the Buddhist teachings, the teachings that, we mentioned about the two different ways, interpretative and the definitive. The definitive sutras are the one that we need to be relying upon. And then, as said before, investigate when you have a disturbance of mind, negative mentalities, how are these generated, and how can we adopt the methods to eliminate these negative thoughts. And because we have, the best potential as a human being, this human brain or intelligence, and this is even, as we said before, the God and deities, they make prayers to attain this, precious human rebirth with precious, human brain. So there's nothing that we cannot attain, possessing this human potential. And we'll stop here for today.
Kanjun Janu Nandikala, Unka Namtasa Chiguare. Kanjun Puti Jata Gayava. And Yaganam Sasa Ken Nandikala, Tamadala, Misu Matamale, Chasa, Kanju Chasan Sengende, Pemula Tonda Mawa. This on the Tine, Tampo Kando Dengas on a Minum Tampo the Nankangua, but Trinda, you knew which had was.
Sugi Sumbe. So you said, Gyabji Kangsan Doji Chang, the teacher, the root teacher of the two tutors of the Dalai Lama, and when he did the teaching of the, and he has actually, head crown, when you look at his pictures. When he did the teachings of translations of, Buddhist Sutra, at the beginning there were, hundreds of people. As it grows, as the teaching continues, at the end there were really kind of, small numbers of people. So Geshe said, only 3 people at the end, and we also sort of, same thing happened to us, our teaching, when we started teaching there were lots of people, the room was full, at the final, teaching. Yes. Yeah. You have any questions? The crown is one of the auspicious symbol of, enlightened beings or bodhisattvas. And this, physical, signs are considered as the result of, accumulations of positive merits like great compassionate mind. And when you practice this, then, one can attain these different physical signs of enlightened beings.
이제 이미 뭐 그거는 다고 집에 지경 로고 인데가 라마 마다지 에 이놈마달로 두 말하더니
Major Buddhi Sumshi.
오 숨시 맞아 부딪히지 니만이 숨을 마달로 두 말.
Sikdang Khazir Lodenji.
로덴지 라티나 숨지 로셔.
Line Sumshi Lawore.
난 숨어.
So, you know, the.
로제니 주고 디 지리가라. 제주름지 거기 디 지리네. 여 주숨배. 다 김치 가능성은 자수 균 난거 말에 담바 인기르잖아요. 제 거기 유도선 지나르세요. 나비가 라이브 딘 로그가 강가로는 이치 시우제들가 인 김치름지 자도 차도 에 도스제네 자제를 디제르세요. 그래서 할래지데서는 뭐 강성도 주사세요.
So this Lama, Gyabji Khansang Dorji Chang, you know, he was a practitioner during 13th Dalai Lama, and his picture is still, you know, at the monastery in Drebung, Gomang, and you know, there's a crown at the tip of his head, and when he did the teaching, he kind of sort of, you know, covered lots of, you know, information during the session, and in one day, you know, he covers like 3 to 4 heaps of teaching. Podilan kalod pejajilo. Dindir sumshi sawar. Logo lagor tigor lagor. Mil tigor logo maro. So, you know, he reads the heaps of teaching, one poti, it's, you know, the size that you can see on that chair. You know, he reads 3 to 4 3 to 4 within one day, you know. So, and people kind of disbelieve, you know, they don't believe that, but later, you know, they actually went to his session, and they saw that, you know, how fast he read, and he covered, and there was also Jagidi Shirikabese. It's also you know, saying that he one time covered his entire face with his tongue, which is another, you know, symbol or physical, you know, symbol of attaining high path. So he is truly kind of, you know, unique master.
사기 땐반 내다 만에 생기 그 라마데 때받치는 자야 지금 말아 요 랭크고도 겨 조숨에 들어나 리팅도 와 라마스 대실 수 있나 그예 니그면 니그도 갑도 라베데 페미스 깨지 모르겠어 된주지야.
So you know, it happened also during the 13th Dalai Lama. So you know, it's part of the practice or learning process is when you have doubt or suspicion, you know, towards your teacher, it is important to kind of, you know, analyze and experiment, investigate whether it is true or not. If there's something mistaken, then, you know, we need to kind of clarify it, or even, you know, criticize, you know, that. Ari Kove Shingam Penan Dewa Mali Jongwe Ne Chere Sewa Tenzin Gyat Shave Sede Badu Tenju Je Jambe Pavu Chidra Jembandang Kundo Sangbo Deyan Dejen De Teda Kungi Jesu Gyawan Deda Tamje Rabdu Ngom Jusum Shepe Gyawa Tamje Gyengo Kangla Chogu Ngaba Den Dashin Gyewen Tsawan Sangbuya Jenje Rabdu Ngo Warai Kim in the land encircled by snow-white mountains, and the source of all happiness and benefits floats in your person, Shanwei Tenzin Gyatso, remain until samsara ends. Just as the Bodhisattva Manjushri attained omniscience and Samantabhadra too, so now to dedicate these to train and fall. As all the victorious Buddhas are past, present, and future, praise dedication to Supreme, so now I too dedicate these also for all beings to perfect good actions.
Yeah, thank you.